Some people don't fear being abandoned. They're already convinced you will. It's not insecurity. It's not overthinking. It's a prediction based on every wound they've survived. These are the people who flinch at kindness, who get suspicious when someone actually stays, who keep one foot out the door even while they're trying to love you, because life taught them one brutal rule. Every person you care about eventually becomes a memory. Let that sink in. They don't trust apologies. They don't trust promises. They don't trust forever. They trust patterns. They trust history. They trust the cold mathematics of loss. And the calculations always come out the same. People leave. People change. People disappoint. So don't get attached. You're not watching this because you're weak. You're watching this because some part of you knows exactly what I'm talking about. That internal countdown you feel every time something good happens. That quiet voice that whispers, enjoy it, before it disappears. Abandonment rarely starts with a dramatic moment. It usually begins with something subtle. A parent who shuts down emotionally when stressed. A caregiver who only shows affection when the child is performing well. A home where the child's feelings were too much. A family where love was inconsistent, warm one week, cold the next. The child learns. Love is unpredictable. People become distant without warning. I must have done something wrong. Children don't realize their parents have their own unresolved trauma. Children personalize everything, so they internalize the inconsistency as a personal defect. That belief travels with them into adulthood, becoming the lens through which they view all relationships. Abandonment is not just a psychological wound, it's a physiological imprint. These individuals live in a state of anticipatory threat. Their nervous system is always preparing for emotional impact. A delayed reply? Danger. A small change in tone? Danger. Someone acting a little quieter today? Danger. Even when nothing is wrong, the body reacts like something is. This hypervigilance isn't neediness, it's conditioning. The brain becomes trained to detect distance before it becomes abandonment. It believes this constant scanning will protect them from reliving old pain. But in reality, it makes them exhausted, emotionally tense, and unable to enjoy connection. Here's the paradox. People who expect abandonment often create the conditions that trigger it, not intentionally, not manipulatively, but through survival patterns. They pull back when they feel too close. They avoid expressing needs to avoid being too much. They pretend they don't care. They withdraw to avoid depending on anyone. They emotionally check out at the first sign of uncertainty. The other person starts feeling unwanted, unappreciated, or shut out. Eventually, they drift away, and the abandonment wounded person says, I knew it. I knew they'd leave. But they don't realize they were never sabotaging the relationship. They were protecting themselves. They were reliving a wound, not creating a new one. People who expect abandonment experience a subtle contradiction. They want closeness more intensely than most, but closeness is the very thing that terrifies them. They crave stability, but stability feels suspicious. They want someone who stays, but staying is unfamiliar. When someone finally offers real love, it feels uncomfortable. Too warm, too steady, too genuine. Their body interprets consistency as danger, because inconsistency is what they grew up with. It's not that they dislike love. It's that their emotional system sees love as a risk of loss, a risk of disappointment, a risk of confirming old wounds. So even when they meet someone safe, something inside whispers, this won't last. From the outside, they look independent, low maintenance, hard to read, strong-willed, detached. People often praise them for being unbothered, but emotional independence is rarely natural for them. It's learned. It is armor. It is the belief that the less they need, the less they can lose. They don't open up easily. They don't ask for help. They don't rely on others. Not because they don't want support, but because needing support once led to disappointment. They keep their pain private, because showing it once led to rejection. They keep their expectations low, because expectations once led to heartbreak. Their independence is not strength. It is self-protection disguised as strength. People who expect abandonment do not interpret behavior neutrally. Every small shift feels meaningful. Someone takes longer to respond. They're losing interest. Someone talks less today. Something is wrong. Someone sets a boundary. They're distancing. Someone pulls away for space. Here it comes. The ending. The mind fills in the blanks with past trauma. The present becomes overshadowed by the ghosts of what happened before. Neutral events take on emotional weight. This is not insecurity. It's cognitive patterning. Their brain is trained to search for danger in places where others search for comfort. One of the most heartbreaking patterns is this. People who expect abandonment are drawn to people who eventually prove them right. They choose emotionally unavailable partners, inconsistent friends, avoidant lovers, unpredictable personalities. It's not preference, it's familiarity. Healthy, steady affection feels strange. Lack of stability feels normal. They replay the emotional script they were handed as children because the mind gravitates toward what it understands, even if it hurts. Inside them, there is always a war. Logic, they're not leaving. Everything is okay. Emotion, something is wrong. Protect yourself. Body, brace for impact. Abandonment lives in the nervous system. It cannot be argued out of someone. It cannot be reassured away instantly. It must be slowly rewritten through consistency, safety, and emotional predictability. When abandonment wounded people sense distance, real or imagined, they go numb, they detach, they stop sharing, they become quiet, they turn off the emotional switch, not because they don't care, but because caring feels dangerous. This freeze is an ancient survival response. If loss is inevitable, better to become emotionally cold than emotionally shattered. People think their fear is losing a person, but the deeper fear is losing themselves, losing dignity, losing trust, losing the small emotional stability they've built. When someone leaves, it doesn't just hurt, it validates every negative belief they've carried for years. I wasn't enough. I shouldn't have opened up. I was foolish to trust. This always happens. I'm better off alone. Abandonment doesn't end when the person walks away. It echoes inside them for years. Now, here's something important. People with abandonment wounds are stronger than they appear. They have survived emotional environments most people never could. They developed empathy, intuition, resilience, and emotional intelligence at a young age. They learned to self-soothe. They learned to navigate chaos. They learned to anticipate emotional shifts in others. Their wounds made them hyper-aware, patient, observant, and deeply insightful. They are not weak. They are battle-tested. And the very sensitivity they criticize in themselves is the same sensitivity that allows them to love deeply, care genuinely, and connect profoundly. Healing abandonment isn't instant. It isn't linear. It isn't logical. Healing comes from 1. Consistent people, not perfect people, just consistent ones. Someone whose actions match their words. Someone who doesn't withdraw emotionally as punishment. Someone who stays even when things are not ideal. Consistency rewires the nervous system. 2. Emotional awareness, naming triggers, recognizing patterns, learning the difference between past danger and present reality. Before reacting, pausing long enough to ask, is this them, or is this my wound speaking? 3. Slow vulnerability, not jumping headfirst into intimacy, not oversharing, not shutting down either, just small steps, small risks, small openings, enough to build trust gradually, without activating the fear of suddenly losing everything. People who expect abandonment aren't looking for someone impossible. They're not asking for perfection. They're not asking for constant reassurance. They're not asking for dramatic displays of loyalty. They just want one thing: someone who stays long enough for their nervous system to finally believe that staying is real. Someone who doesn't disappear when things get quiet. Someone who doesn't punish them for being afraid. Someone who understands that emotional wounds don't make them difficult, they make them human. Because beneath their guarded exterior is someone who has been waiting their entire life for a connection that doesn't fade when the world gets heavy. Someone who stays, not because they have to, but because they choose to. And that choice is the beginning of healing everything they never had the power to change.